Hey, what's up everybody? My name's Jake. I moved to San Diego this past end of summer, really early fall, and I just wanted to answer a question that I had a really hard time finding a firm answer to. And that was, can I ride a motorcycle 365 days a year while living in San Diego / Southern California, and does it make sense? So a couple reasons that I thought about riding 365 was one, because gas is expensive in California. That's a well-known fact. But additionally, a lot of places only offer one parking spot. So I moved into an apartment with my girlfriend and we immediately ran into that. Every single place we looked, they offer one parking spot for a car. And in many cases, motorcycle parking is free and included. But additionally, when you're traveling around the city, pretty much anywhere, parking is tough to find. So street parking is always really easy on a motorcycle. People let you park on sidewalks. There's just a ton more opportunity, and you don't have to try quite so hard when you're riding a motorcycle. Additionally, the weather seems fantastic most of the year. Motorcycles are cheaper, they're easier to maintain. Insurance is less expensive. All around, it seems like a decent idea. But I could not find a direct answer as to one, if it's practical, two, if it makes sense, and three, if it's really all if it's meant up to be. So here I am. We're on the tail end of winter now. It is February 10th. I've been in San Diego in prior years, roundabout in March, so I know mostly what I'm looking at going into it. I'm through the challenging months. So the short answer is, yeah, you can. It's definitely not the worst, I guess simply put. Since I've been here, it's probably rained a total of 10 to 15 days in about 4 or 5 months. And this is the rainy season. The rest of the year, we really won't see much of it. Now, being that so, even with the rainy days, today was raining, and by 2, 3 o'clock, it's completely cleared up and it's a beautiful day. Now, what that means for an average commuter is I might have rode my bike in the rain to work, but on the way home, I'd end up with a really nice ride. So you do see some rain, but the average total for San Diego in an entire year is 12 inches throughout the 365 days, and you end up with around 340 days of no rain. So when you have those 25 off days, you kind of have to make a choice. I've been fortunate enough to, on a lot of those days, they just happen to be my days off, where I really didn't have to worry about it. But of course, you can buy rain gear. Some people just deal with it, and then you just take extra precaution. I have ridden in the rain a few times here, and it's not that big of a deal, assuming you dress right and you take the necessary precautions. Take off a little bit slower, brake quicker, brake sooner rather, and just do what you need to do to be careful. As far as the cold goes, yeah, it still gets cold. So I live about 2-3 miles from the beach. So I deal with fairly tempered climates. You might see a 10 to 15 degree temperature swing on your average day, but nothing too crazy. Now, oftentimes when I'm leaving for work, the mornings are somewhere between 42 and 52, which doesn't sound too bad compared to a lot of other places, but on the highways here, you're going 80 plus miles per hour on your bike, which does get cold. So definitely layer up. You can see I don't have any special helmet or anything. It's just your standard Arai. I don't wear any special gear intentionally. So I wanted to get through a full winter, essentially on a poor man setup. So my bike is completely stock. I don't have any hand grip warmers. I don't even have hand guards. I don't have a seat warmer. I don't have an extended mirror to deflect the wind. I'm riding a Ninja 300. Now, I've ridden a lot of bikes in the past. I actually used to own a small bike dealership where I have owned and ridden probably over 20 different bikes at this point. Everything from 250cc to just about 2000cc. I specifically chose a Ninja 300 because it's very inexpensive to insure. I get about 50 to 60 miles to the gallon. It's really small because lane splitting is legal here. It's easy to park, and most of all, I got it for $3,000 brand new from a gentleman who decided he didn't want to ride anymore. So if something were to happen to the bike, I wouldn't be entirely devastated, especially because there are still on occasions where I have to park outside, specifically if I'm traveling, or a few times the bike parking lot has been full. So I'm riding a bone stock Ninja 300, no modifications to make myself any warmer. Basically how I've gotten through it is I layer up. I mean, I don't have any thermal gear. I don't have long johns. I'm not using any heated jackets or anything. I'm just simply wearing 5 or 6 layers, generally a pair of jeans with a pair of sweatpants over top and 2 layers of gloves. And it's honestly been pretty sufficient. Like, yeah, there's some cold rides, but I mean, the alternative is paying California insurance costs, which are crazy, paying for an additional parking spot, having a car payment or shelling out money for a car, and then dealing with all those nuances. Additionally, traffic here is rough. Lane splitting cuts my commute time, which on my way home from work, specifically coming from north to south San Diego, I'd be looking at easily an hour every single day for my commute home. Generally, I can have that to about 30-35 minutes due to lane splitting. I have no interest in sitting in the car for 2+ hours per day. So the motorcycle gives me all that time back every single day. And honestly, it's worth tolerating the cold for the few months that you do have to deal with it. And it's definitely worth it for the 10 to 25 days of rain that we have per year. And like I said, hopefully some of those days will fall on your days off and you won't even have to worry about it. So yeah, I can say I personally do think it's not only possible, but also plausible to ride 365 days a year in San Diego and in Southern California. Up to Los Angeles, assuming you stay on the coastal line, is pretty similar to here. Now, the biggest variation you're going to see is when people start moving inland, because when you move inland, a lot of these territories are what you consider like highland deserts. So they do have bigger varying degrees of temperature swings, and it does get pretty significantly colder when you get farther inland away from the ocean. So if you were living, we'll say 50 miles off the coast or so, maybe it's not quite as feasible. I don't personally live in those conditions. Elevation is also a factor, so you got to take that into account for yourself and give it a try. But assuming you're living in real San Diego, within, we'll say 50 miles of the coast, and you're doing normal commuting, yeah, I can recommend it. Next year, I'm definitely going to be making some modifications to my bike. I'm going to get the extended visor to give me some more wind protection. I am going to install heated grips this year, and I'm probably going to get some thermal gear to wear underneath. I think the combination of these things will be more than enough. Like I said, I did an entire winter bone stock, and I survived. I'm here, not really complaining all that much. It's definitely doable. It's plausible. It saved me a ton of money, and more importantly, it saved me time. I'll definitely be posting more videos in the future, some motorcycle related stuff, some tech stuff, maybe some home projects, and then probably a lot of just me traveling around Southern California, going on some adventures. I've been traveling all over San Diego, up to Venice Beach, Santa Monica, LA, out to Arizona. We're planning a trip up to San Francisco, out to Colorado, probably Nevada pretty soon. So I'm going to have some cool videos. I'm hoping to stay pretty current and ideally a video per week. Appreciate you guys. If you do have any follow-up questions for me, feel free to reach out in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to answer whatever you have for me. Thanks.